the World Wide Web. Every big game on ipsathletics.tv. Football, volleyball, basketball, and much more. Coming this fall, ipsathletics.tv. Let the games begin.
Hey everybody, it's Coach from Indiana SRN. Don't forget to listen to Sports Zone every day right here, 11 to 12 noon Eastern, Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
It's been said the night is always darkest just before the dawn. Maybe you can relate right now. But make no mistake about it, a new day is dawning. Opportunity and promise are on the horizon for all of us. And just like in high school sports, we'll trust honesty, empathy, hard work, and humility to bring out the best in us and show us the way. The IHSAA will look for you at a high school game or meet very soon.
Hello, this is Deb from Indiana SRN, and I'm here to say thank you to our loyal sponsors, schools, coaches, and friends. Your support continues to keep high school athletics on internet radio and webcast. It is our goal to highlight student athletes throughout our great state. We are scheduled to broadcast over 300 games this season, and you can find us broadcasting at high school football stadiums, basketball and volleyball courts, baseball and softball diamonds, next to the wrestling mats, at lacrosse fields, and the soccer pitch. If you would like to know more about how to get your favorite school on radio or webcast, contact us by email at coach@indianasrn.org. Coach has enjoyed his time with you during the Sports Zone show. Thank you again. And if you're enjoying this show or would like to sponsor any of our broadcasts, you can contact us via email at coach@indianasrn.org. Thank you again for listening and watching Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game. And don't forget to join us Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern for the Sports Zone.
Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
It's the Sports Zone with Keith Myers and the Indiana SRN sports team, made possible by Morales Group, College Hunks and Movers, the IHSAA, and Aspen Creek Grill. Now, let's join Keith and his guests.
In the studio is Keith Myers. On the phone is David Locke. I almost said you were in the studio. You can't be in the studio. You got to be 9 feet away from me.
I wish.
Yeah. I wish we would be playing softball or baseball today, but it looks like we're not going to play any spring sports, and kind of disappointing for not only the coaching staff, but those players who've worked really hard. And really, my hearts go out to the seniors, because I tell you what, there was a lot of good seniors in the conference for the spring sports.
Yeah, speaking of the conference, Central City Conference has represented Central Indiana and Indiana as a whole very well over the last several years. And, yeah, it's very unfortunate that they're not able to demonstrate their God-given ability. And, I feel for them. I feel for all the coaches that have also put in the time and effort to work with their student athletes in the spring, and then also for the parents who, I'm a parent of multiple, of a lot of kids who are involved with multiple extracurricular stuff. And, we look forward to watching our kids do what they do. And it's just very unfortunate that they're not able to do that this spring.
Talk a little bit about the conference. I know I talked with Andy Gossel on this show. We talked with a couple other athletic directors in different conferences. But, boy, the Circle City Conference athletic directors, you guys almost meet almost weekly Zoom meetings of day-to-day operations. So you guys are going to be way ahead of the curve where maybe these other conferences aren't doing it. Not trying to put those down, but the close community of Circle City Conference, I know we get brought in those meetings about opinions about media. I know Rob Brown gets brought into those meetings. What is that mindset all about the conference of being one ahead of everybody else?
Well, it starts from the very beginning when we met 4 or 5 years ago about what we wanted this conference to look like and how we wanted to promote our student athletes and our school communities. And really the athletic directors, principals, presidents, head of school, all of us have been on the same page for the last 4 or 5 years. And in terms of athletics, it's been about promoting education-based athletics at our schools. And we're all very fortunate to be a part of communities that embrace education-based athletics, and that is a good thing. As an athletic director, you want that support, and I believe that all 6 schools in the Circle City Conference have that support from our top administrators and certainly from our school community. So we have a task at hand to make sure that we're doing everything possible to promote and continue to put our student athletes and our various athletic teams in the best position possible to be successful.
You talk about the success of the conference. You look at the basketball season as it was not finished completely, but Covenant Christian wins the sectional. It was going to go to a regional, but Buff won a sectional, was going to a regional. That's got to be really successful because iron sharpens iron. And one of the things about this conference, it starts there. It starts about everybody sharpening each other to make everybody better.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. One of our objectives for years to get in a conference was, to compete and have an opportunity to say you're a conference champion. But at the end of the day, it's become bigger than that in our conference. We know that every time we line up against a conference opponent, that it's going to be a challenge, that they're going to be well coached, that these kids and these teams are going to be disciplined. And it only makes our teams better. And whether you win or lose, it's going to make your teams better. And it does. It sets up our teams for prolonged success in the IHSA tournaments when, night in and night out, you're competing at a high level in all the sports that we play in our conference. So it has. It's been great. And, the continued success throughout regular seasons, the tournaments will definitely continue for our conference teams.
Dave Locke joins us. He's the athletic director and softball coach at Roncalli High School. David, Matt Lang, a good friend of yours, he was on the show a few weeks ago, made fun of you because he remembers stories about you in the conference meetings when something with media, and all of a sudden you go, oh, my goodness, we're going to have media watch all these games. Matt was excited, and then the whole entire conference got excited. We're part of your conference, and we're excited about that. Talk a little bit about Matt Lang and now Ryan Davis at Guerin Catholic. That's one of the schools, but Matt was one of the guys, and you were one of those guys that wanted to get media involved in your conference.
Well, yeah, Matt, wishing him well down in Florida. I can't believe he would make fun of me, but I get it, and that's part of what the relationship that we've developed with the conference. I mean, I can call any of our athletic directors and bounce any ideas or thoughts or questions off any of them, and I wouldn't think twice about it. That's been one of the great things about joining this conference is the camaraderie that we've built, the trust and friendships that we've built. But the media, it's really taken it's really come along a lot more here in the last 5 or 10 years, and it started with basketball, football, and now it's wrestling and it's softball. And it's lacrosse, and it's all these different sporting events that our kids are able to go back and watch. Our parents are able to go back and watch. Grandparents are able to watch from other states and other countries if they wanted to. So yeah, it's been a blessing that folks like yourself and SRN are out there and willing and able to provide that outlet for our student athletes. So it's definitely something that we've embraced. We've been very fortunate here at Roncalli to have really good professionals as well, with Rob Brown and Gary Armbruster, and our advancement office that understand the value of the media and able to give our student athletes a way to another way to demonstrate their God-given abilities.
You know, you go back to everybody making fun of each other. I think that's when you go into a group of the setting of that conference, if you can't make fun of each other and you can't enjoy each other, then something's got to be wrong. We have that professionalism, but that joking, I know time after time, you crack some jokes about Keith Myers, and that's okay. I mean, that's why we hang out with you guys. It makes us better people.
Well, yeah, I mean, part of being an athletic director, you got to have people skills, and I think I have decent people skills, and I also have thick skin, and I get a good read, and you got to know your audience, and so when you guys came on board and started covering our events, it was great, and I hope that it's reciprocal, that when you guys step on our campus, you're welcome. And that our hospitality is always as best as it can possibly be, because that's what you guys deserve, and that's what we want to provide. And so, yeah, it's all part of our job and what keeps us going.
You know, Chris does a good job keeping you focused right there, Dave. You know, Chris does a really nice job doing that. So, hey, we're going to take a 2-minute break. When we come back, we're going to talk about your favorite coach's memory. And then I want to share a memory that I have of you long ago. And if you can stick around for about 2 minutes.
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
There's no greater anti-poverty measure than to give a person a job. That helps them start to change that trajectory. Thousands of people get jobs here from all of these diverse backgrounds. We're helping write that story of that better future that we know they can get, we know that they deserve.
Morales Group is a full-service staffing company that provides temporary labor in the Indianapolis, Central Indiana market.
Come talk to us. We would love to work with you.
It's coming. It's coming. IPSathletics.tv. High school sports on the World Wide Web. Every big game on IPSathletics.tv. Football, volleyball, basketball, and much more. Coming this fall, IPSathletics.tv. Let the games begin.
It's been said the night is always darkest just before the dawn. Maybe you can relate right now. But make no mistake about it, a new day is dawning. Opportunity and promise are on the horizon for all of us. And just like in high school sports, we'll trust honesty, empathy, hard work, and humility to bring out the best in us and show us the way. The IHSAA will look for you at a high school game or meet very soon.
Hey, everybody, it's Coach from Indiana SRN. Don't forget to listen to Sports Zone every day right here, 11 to 12 noon Eastern. Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
Back on the Sports Zone, Keith Myers, David Locke. Dave, let's talk about your favorite coach's memory ever.
Ever?
Oh, yeah, if you have one or two, but maybe a memory you have.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple, but one that really sticks with me and will be something that is a story I can tell forever was in our 2011 state championship game, softball. Our pitching and catching coach was in a wedding, and really was a bridesmaid in the wedding, so she couldn't be at the state championship game. So that left me essentially to call pitches, which is not something that was my strength, but I did it. And in the first inning, I kept calling pitches, and our sophomore pitcher at the time, starting pitcher, was Kendra Lynch, and who wound up being Miss Softball as a senior and went on to play at North Carolina. She was pretty good. And so I'm calling pitches first inning, and she's like looking back over to the dugout, shaking her head, and I'm like, great, this is not going well. And we got out of the inning, but she stormed off the field and just pretty much got in my face and was like, what the bleep are you doing? And I was like, whoa, what are you talking about? She's like, you got the signs backwards. And I said, oh, okay. So it was an interesting first inning. I was calling location and pitch, and it's supposed to be pitch and location. So I had it all backwards. So I had our battery all messed up in the state championship game. But, that just says something about Kendra and her leadership and her trust in me and our relationship. She did. She stormed off the field and got in my face. And, she wanted to win so badly that she was going to make sure that we were on the same page. So that was pretty funny. And she went on to pitch a shutout and get the win in the state championship. So I will definitely tell that story. I can't say the language that we exchanged back and forth, but that was a good one.
You got to love kids when they have the passion to want to win the game, and that's true. Hey, a story that I need to tell is, when we first met, you had no idea who we were, and you trust us with doing a webcast game. You trust us that we were going to do a good job. And at the end of all that, you thanked us for coming. And I can still remember me and Sean looking at each other going, this guy has no idea what we do, and hopefully he's going to trust us. And that was a couple of years ago, David, and you have done that for every single crew that has stepped in on your campus for SRN and have wore our name. You have treated them just that kind, and I want to thank you for that, because that is rare to find in today's society.
Gosh, you're welcome. That's very nice of you to recall that and to bring that up. But that's you guys are professionals, and you have made a lot of right moves, a lot of right calls, over the last few years, and certainly have recognized the value of what our athletic directors do every day, and what our student athletes and coaches do every day. So you'll always be welcome, back here on our college campus.
Talk real quick about the new gymnasium. How many games did it get played in? Maybe a handful because of the season getting cut short?
Well, we got in I believe we got in all of the boys' home games and about a third of the girls' home games we were able to host. And, it was interesting how it all played out. We didn't know what type of crowds we'd get. But there were a couple weekends that stick out in my mind when we hosted a triple header, freshman and JV and varsity against Center Grove. And then the following weekend, Saturday, we hosted a freshman, JV, and varsity boys basketball against Greenwood. In both of those games, we had probably over 1,500 to 1,600 fans trickling in over the course of those three games. So what that means, Keith, is that 500 or 600 of those people that came to watch would not have been able to get into our old gym. It would have been packed. And so, the fact that we now have this new gym and can host 1,500 to 2,000 people on any given night is quite the blessing. And it's challenging when you host that many people, but it's also a blessing that our student athletes are able to perform in front of all those people. So it's worked out well. We still have some work to do aesthetically inside that gym, and so it's going to be still some ongoing projects for the next year or two until we have it looking exactly how we want it.
Now, the Ssrn logo, is it in the middle of the floor yet? Have you put that logo in the middle of the floor?
I think that's about a $10,000
donation
on your part.
Okay, yeah.
I don't work on that side of things, so
I'll have Jerry write you a check tomorrow.
All right,
David, I know you're kind of busy today. Thanks for spending some time with us this morning. We appreciate it. In all seriousness, you're a good guy. I know volleyball season's coming upon you. You're going to have a new volleyball coach, and we're scheduled to do a couple of games webcast-wise, and looking forward to being at Roncalli this fall.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, Christina Erasmus will be our new volleyball coach, and we've got several returning players coming back from a Marion County and sectional championship team. So yeah, you'll see some great volleyball once again.
Then I would be not remiss if you got a new football coach too, and that should be exciting for you as well.
Oh, absolutely. John Rodenberg is our new head football coach, and he's been around for a long time, coaching at a high level. And you know, we had a sectional championship team last year as well, and a really young team. So I think they returned 14 or 15 starters from a pretty good team last year. So yeah, definitely looking forward to getting those guys back out on the gridiron as well.
So excited to be part of the Roncalli Rebel family. Dave, thanks so much for your time.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Anytime. Take care, guys.
You bet. We'll take a break. We'll be back right after this.
It's coming. It's coming. IPSathletics.tv. High school sports on the World Wide Web. Every big game on IPSathletics.tv. Football, volleyball, basketball, and much more. Coming this fall, IPSathletics.tv. Let the games begin.
Back on the Sports Zone on Indiana SRN. Keith Myers with us on the hotline. A superstar, a guy who played football for Covenant Christian, was quarterback, also played basketball for them, now is at Indiana Wesleyan. And college football is a much different than high school basketball for this young man. Emery Brew joins us. Hi, Emery.
Doing good. How are you doing, Keith?
I'm doing really well. It's a different game, isn't it? College football compared to high school football.
Oh my goodness! I mean, the game's still extremely competitive, but I mean, it's just everyone at the college level, especially at the NAIA level, which is kind of comparable to a Division II level of football. It's extremely fast-paced. Guys are fast, strong, quick. You just get so many athletes on the field, and there's just guys who can play just any position. Really, it's just it's especially on my team. There's just guys who you can put them out there on the field and at any position they'd excel. So it's just really incredible seeing how the level of competition has jumped from high school to the college level where I'm at now.
You know, fortunately for your mom was a better athlete than your dad, so I think you got your mom's athletic ability. Let's talk a little bit about the athletic ability. Not only do you play sports, but you have brothers and sisters that also play sports, and they all got your mom's talent, which is a blessing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if they got my dad's talent, I don't know if they'd be going anywhere with athletics, but
they would be talking a lot.
Yeah, they would just be talking about sports. They wouldn't be doing anything.
Talk a little bit about physical fitness for you now that you've been probably in the house for 9 weeks now. Are you still trying to work out at home? You staying in touch with your teammates at Indiana Wesleyan, coaching staff. I'm sure there's lots of Zoom meetings you have to go to. And then you also finished up school here a couple of days ago, right? Or do you still have a couple of finals?
Yeah, our last official day of school for the spring semester was last Thursday. But I'm taking a class over May to kind of get some extra credits to just kind of boost myself for the future. But yeah, I mean, it's been really, really weird just having to deal with just not being on campus. And like you said, we've had a bunch of Zoom meetings with my position group. And actually later on today, we're having a full team meeting to kind of discuss our off-season training. And it's really hard, especially in terms of off-season training. You just don't have access to a gym, or if you don't have personal weights, and you kind of are you're kind of missing out on the weightlifting department. So you have to kind of make do with what you have. Like you have to do the old school thing, put rocks in a backpack, right, or stuff like that. And just doing a bunch of plyometrics, cone drills, just basically doing what you can to make sure you're still getting a good workout, even though you're limited in the equipment that you have.
in our neighborhood, Debbie and I live in the Lawrence Township area, and there's a young man in our neighborhood that is an athlete that does not have a weight set. So there's boulders in his backyard, and he's literally lifting his boulders from one pile to the other each day. And so his mom and dad gets a chuckle out of it, but he says it's a pretty good workout. So, I mean, I guess that you do what you got to do to get fit for a season, because everybody believes we're going to go back for football.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I said. You just have to do what you can. I mean, you just have to prepare for what's to come. High school guys, they would be starting their off-season workouts in a little over a month from now, and for the college guys, we'd be starting within the next week or 2 weeks. Everyone will be on their off-season program, so you just kind of have to roll with the punches, and just got to make do with what you have.
Briefly, talk a little bit about your career at Covenant Christian. We won't elaborate as much, but there's you have broken a lot of records at Covenant Christian. You came in a time where you literally was their first quarterback ever in the school's history. You look back now, that's many years ago. They're ready for their season this fall. Talk a little bit about coaches and breaking those records, and now the quality of the team that you see that's coming on the field in 2020.
Yeah, I mean, it was just so much fun playing in high school. I love high school coach, Coach Mack, currently at Zionsville. But he was the greatest coach I've ever had. He taught me just so many things beyond the sport. But I think for this year, especially, I think my younger brother was telling me that they are looking at close to 40 guys on their team, which is incredible, because I don't think we had 40 guys combined my junior and senior year. But it's just great to see how, from where we started my freshman year in 2014 to where we are now, and what will be the 6th year of the program. It's incredible to see how far they've gone, and just seeing how much the younger guys have bought in from when I've been there, and seeing guys who I played with finish their career strong. It's just been something that's been really cool to see and really cool to follow ever since I left.
Emery Brew is our guest today on the Sports Zone. Emery was a football player, and a student at Covenant Christian, and graduated, and now playing for Indiana Wesleyan. When you go up to Indiana Wesleyan and you started that program as well, you started your program there, new facilities. Talk a little bit about the digs, and brag a little bit about your university and the quality of facilities they have.
It's an incredible facility. It's a brand new. I think it was around $16 million for the football facility. And it's just a great locker room, weight room attached to the locker room. It's just state of the art stuff. I mean, we have a beautiful turf field, a stadium that's pretty dang big. It's just real nice. It's secluded on its own part of the campus, just kind of away from everything. And you walk by it and you know that just seeing the facilities, and then if you were to actually see what goes on in facilities, if you were to walk in the locker room, walk in the weight room, see the technology that's been put into the facility, you'd know that the coaches and the university are really buying into the football team and really want them to succeed. And that's kind of the general vibe that I got when I first arrived, is they really, really want not only athletics to succeed, but they want you to succeed as a person through the athletics. And that's just something that they instill in there. They have their athletic department has this I am third mentality. It's featured by the football team. It's basically or featured by the basketball team, excuse me. And it basically means God first, other second, I'm third. And they have a department-wide Bible verse, Philippians 2:1-11. Just basically just shows how to be selfless. And I can tell the football staff and all the other staff of athletics on campus that I've gotten to interact with live by that passage.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, a lot more with Emery Brew right after this. You're listening to the Sports Zone on Indiana SRN.
It's been said the night is always darkest just before the dawn. Maybe you can relate right now. But make no mistake about it, a new day is dawning. Opportunity and promise are on the horizon for all of us. And just like in high school sports, we'll trust honesty, empathy, hard work, and humility to bring out the best in us and show us the way. The IHSAA will look for you at a high school game or meet very soon.
Hey everybody, it's Coach from Indiana SRN. Don't forget to listen to Sports Zone every day right here, 11 to 12 noon Eastern, Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
It's coming. It's coming. IPSathletics.tv. High school sports on the World Wide Web. Every big game on IPSathletics.tv. Football, volleyball, basketball, and much more. Coming this fall, IPSathletics.tv. Let the games begin.
Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
Back on the Sports Zone on Indiana SRN, Emery Peru joins us. Emery, we talked about your football career and talked a little bit about the school. I know that you loved Covenant Christian. I know you loved the university. I know you're looking forward to getting back there. But let's talk a little bit of the other career that you had. You had a niche, and you wanted to be part of something that was really big. So Indiana SRN, I think you were our first or second intern ever to do some work behind the scenes. What is tougher, throwing a football or broadcasting with Indiana SRN?
Oh man, well, quite frankly, anyone can throw a football, but it takes real talent to be able to be a sports broadcaster. That's what I kind of live by.
There's that $25 check you just earned. There you go. Talk a little bit about that.
So much fun.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about that. I know that you have a niche for that, and you really feel that maybe after school it's something you would want to do as a side. And I know that we've talked about that. But talk a little bit about the preparation that the training that you went through, because there's some juniors and seniors that might be listening to this program that we're adapting that. You were the guinea pig, so we're adapting all those things to someone that might not be able to play maybe college sports. But would want to get on the other side of it. What would you say to them, and what was your role at that point?
Yeah, I say for me, I really was interested when I first started the internship with Indiana SRN. I was really interested in the kind of the statistics background to it, like you guys had me do the shot chart and doing different statistics, like turnover ratio, stuff like that. And that stuff was really good. I mean, I took a statistics class the semester where I was doing the internship, which helped out a lot. But then also, I really like doing the just the color commentary, just the guy who kind of just throws in his kind of 2 cents sometime here and there. And I like that position a lot because I think the color commentary is the kind of guy who is more, for lack of a better word, experienced. Like he knows what's going on. He or she knows what's going on more than just the surface level of what's being shown on the field or the court or whatever it is. And I feel like that I've had plenty of experience in sports where I can kind of throw my 2 cents in here or there for color commentary. But I think for just young people, just for like advice for wanting to go into the sports broadcasting is get to know people who are in the field, like whether it be local news people or if you're to do like some research on different popular broadcasters, just kind of know what they had to do in order to get to where they are now. So that way you can kind of start preparing yourself for different job fields, different internships you could apply for and stuff like that.
And if you're a high school principal or administrator out there that would like to know what we do with that internship, they can contact us at coach@indianasrn.org. You had a lot of fun. I think one state tournament, the boys state tournament, I do believe that we let you have the halftime shows, and you did some research on that. You did a really good job. Thank goodness that you're up at school because you can't take my job away from me. I appreciate that a lot, but you did a good job on doing that. I think there's a lot of opportunity for high school kids, especially when we come back to maybe join an internship at Indiana SRN if they're interested in doing that. Final question, and I'm going to leave you with this. Your brother played 1 year with you. The brew to brew connection was pretty cool. Talk a little bit about that. And I know that's a favorite memory of your mom and dad's, and I know your grandma is probably listening to the show and going, "Oh yeah, I remember when I said that."
Yeah, it was being able to play with him for that 1 year is always great. Because we're growing up, the little leagues we'd always play in, we're always separated by grade level, and so we never played together. And Jackson knew that. He played football when he was at a young age, but then found an interest in soccer and just kind of kept with that. Up until around his 8th grade or freshman year, he started to think about what he wanted to do for football. And he decided he wanted to go to Covenant Christian, and then he wanted to play football. And I was really happy about that because I've never been able to play on a team with him, and being able to have him on that team with me was something that that's something that just went deeper than just the game. Like, it was something that was more of a relational thing. Like, I spent more time with him, more quality time. Me getting older in college, I don't spend as much time around him, and so having him just on the field with me and being around me a lot through the game of football. My senior year of high school was just something that I really don't take for granted. It was something that I enjoyed a lot. I remember throwing my first touchdown to him. That was probably one of the best memories from that senior year. And I tell you, he can do anything. He's kind of the Swiss Army knife. You can put him at corner, put him at safety. My dad and I were talking about it yesterday. He's basically a closet quarterback. You could put him in a quarterback if you wanted to, and he'd do well. But yeah, the kid's just an awesome athlete, awesome brother, and but being able to play with him was just so much fun.
We thank you very much for your time today. I know you're very, very busy. I know you're looking forward to going back to school and playing football. Have a great year, and we'll talk again, okay?
All right, for sure.
That's Embry Brew. We'll take a break, and we'll be back right after this. You're listening to the Sports Zone on Indiana SRN.
It's coming. It's coming. IPSathletics.tv. High school sports on the World Wide Web. Every big game on IPSathletics.tv. Football, volleyball, basketball, and much more. Coming this fall, IPSathletics.tv.
It is Indiana SRN. It is Sports Zone, and boy, are we excited about this guy. We've known from North Putnam a couple years, and then, in fact, I think we did a football game out there for him when his team was doing very, very well. He decided to leave North Putnam to go to Traitors Point, be Traitors Point's football coach this season. Sam Cars joins us, and not only do you get to do football, but you get to teach at a new school, and I think you're pretty excited about football season.
Absolutely, yeah. First off, excited for every football season, but anytime you get to be in a new situation and you get to work with a different group of people that you know and love, it's a win-win. Teaching's my passion, and I'm excited to be in the classroom as well and get to be in the high school and the junior high, but very excited for this season.
Traitors Point Knights head coach.
Yes.
How about that?
Yeah, my wife and I have been going to Traitors Point for about 3 years, and there's a good friend of mine. His name's Cody Ssrn, who teaches at the school. He's been there for 2 years, and about 2 years ago I texted him and said, "Hey, man, do you think your guy's ever going to leave?" And he said, "I don't know. He loves his job." And I said, "All right, well, if he ever leaves, give me a text because I think I'd like that job."
Yeah.
And here we are 2 years later, so.
Yeah, I hope no one ever texts me and say, "Hey, are you ever going to leave SRN?" Because I don't know if I ever want to leave the vice president's job. Thank goodness I'm not the CEO, but man, being vice president, I get to do all the fun stuff, and Jerry does a great job, and you're very much aware of us. I know when you were interviewed, one of the things you said was, "Will SRN be with our contract?" Of course we will. So
That's right.
And it looks like we're going to cover all 9 games for you guys, plus your sectional, which we're very excited about that, and then a couple times on webcast. So you're going to be on.
Awesome.
Can you handle the TV pressure of being on the screen?
Yeah, we were on TV a couple times at North Putnam, and actually my brother got to do a halftime show at one of I think it was our sectional game last year. And then when I was at Avon, we got to be on ESPN when Brandon Peters went against Hunter Johnson, two of the top quarterbacks in the country. Which was a pretty special night. But, Yeah, no, it'll be fun. I've got a lot of family in Ohio that will, specifically a grandpa who would love to see those broadcasts, and I'm sure he'll be listening at every game.
Sam, let's talk a little bit about North Putnam. You really rebuild a program there. Is that what you're going to carry to Traitors Point? Is the rebuild? You get kids out of the classroom. So, Sam, are you going to? You rebuilt the North Putnam program, and you brought kids in, and some of those kids didn't want to play football, but with the mentor program that SRN has that can do stats for us and you, and being a manager, there's all kinds of things to get the kids involved in your, not only the football program, but the whole entire school.
Yeah, and I think I'm in a very similar situation here that I was at North Putnam, where I'm following a coach who did a good job and laid a great foundation for us to build off of. It's not a total rebuild; it's coming in and replacing a great coach, and that's what I did there. But one of the things that I pride myself in is recruiting the halls and getting kids to come out and play football. The first year we added 10 people at North Putnam to the roster, hoping to do something similar here and hoping to be, as Whitestown blows up and continues to grow, hoping to be a part of the growth at Traitors Point Christian Schools, just in general. But yeah, excited to be a part of that. One of the things I love about high school football is there is a spot for everybody in the building on our program. We don't make cuts. We don't need just tall, fast kids. We don't need kids who can throw, just kids who can catch. We need everybody. It takes everybody to win a state championship. It takes everybody to put together a good football team, and looking to get to know some of the kids in the building, and build those relationships and build this program.
I got to play football at Thomas Carr Howe. I was a guard and a tackle. I guarded the water, and I tackled anybody that got near it. That's the closest I came to football.
With that position.
Yeah. Actually, at Howe, I actually got involved in managing, and that grew me to really kind of like behind the scenes of football. And you're right. There's something for everybody to be involved in the athletic program, and that's kind of cool. Let's talk a little bit about your schedule. You got some rivalries on your schedule. Covenant Christian, which is about 3 miles down the road from you guys, has been a heated rivalry. It's been the game of the week on Indiana SRN for the last 5 years. That's a huge game, huge crowd. Talk a little bit about those rivalries, and you get to go north, they get to go south. You might see them again in the state championship one of these days.
Sure.
That would be kind of interesting.
Yeah, no, we used to scrimmage Covenant when I was at North Putnam. Coach McWhorter, legendary coach from Zionsville, future Hall of Fame coach from Zionsville, who now has gone back to Zionsville to be a coordinator. So I know that the program was in good hands when he was there. They've had, I think, a first-year coach last year and a first-year coach this year. So I'm not real familiar with the staff now, but I could tell you. People aren't going to want to hear this, but like I said, my family's from Ohio, so we're big-time Ohio State fans. So rivalry and football are very important things to us. At North Putnam, we had two schools that were one of them was south of 40 and one of them were purple, and that's about all he said. But and that, you love that rivalry, and it gives something extra for the kids that week. And you make things up that they said about you, or give them reasons to just put fire in their gut and be excited for a week. And I think it's the best parts of football is rivalry in high school sports.
You're right. We're going to do this for the Ohio folks, though. Ready? OH.
I-O. There we go.
My friends, first of all, my pastor is from Ohio State, so he'll love that. And my best friend is from Ohio State, so he'll love that.
There you go.
I'm a Boilermaker. I can just I just keep reminding him about the Boilermakers win over Ohio State back in the day. So.
I know. And, Ohio State's record versus everybody except Purdue is really good. I don't know what it is. They can't go into Ross-Ade Stadium and get a win.
We're just so good. We're just so good, Sam.
Anyway.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the building process and all the neat things that's going on at Traitors Point, because you're going to be very blessed there, and I know you'll do a great job there. So hang with us. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Hey, everybody, it's Coach from Indiana SRN. Don't forget to listen to Sports Zone every day right here, 11 to 12 noon Eastern. Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
It's been said the night is always darkest just before the dawn. Maybe you can relate right now. But make no mistake about it, a new day is dawning. Opportunity and promise are on the horizon for all of us. And just like in high school sports, we'll trust honesty, empathy, hard work, and humility to bring out the best in us and show us the way. The IHSAA will look for you at a high school game or meet very soon.
It's coming. It's coming. IPSathletics.tv. High school sports on the World Wide Web. Every big game on IPSathletics.tv. Football, volleyball, basketball, and much more. Coming this fall, IPSathletics.tv. Let the games begin.
Back on Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game. It's the Sports Zone. Sam Carnes joins us. He's the new football coach at Traitors Point High School, and looking forward to the season. It's really shut down, and so right now I'm sure you have all kinds of Zoom meetings. I talk to a lot of football coaches almost every day. They're all doing Zoom meetings. It was funny the other day. One coach said he had 22 screens on his big screen TV at home, so he's got every single kid looking at every single kid. So you got to do a lot of things like that, don't you?
Yeah, you got to be creative. You got to do everything you can do as a coach to get an edge. But also, this game and the reason that anybody coaches is about relationships, and to not get to be a part of those relationships right now is killing us. I saw something on the internet last night, and somebody said the ability to work with your players, train your players, talk to your players on a daily basis, you took that for granted, didn't you? And you're not going to do it anymore. This is a grind usually during the off season. In the weight room, you can't really be working with the football, and it's all about relationships and getting bigger, faster, stronger. And, you're kind of itching usually this time of year to get on the football field, and, kind of tired of being in the weight room. And, that I would give anything to be in the weight room right now with our team. And, we had a call out meeting last night actually on Zoom. And we had a coaches meeting yesterday as well. Very excited about our coaching staff. Zoom is gonna be the way we install our offense, install our defense, and just get ourselves mentally ready as the kids have to by themselves get physically ready.
I should have bought stock in Zoom, and it would probably be the best thing we could ever done, Coach.
Right.
Let's talk about the facilities. You have probably the state-of-art facilities. It is amazing to me how many 1A schools in Marion County that now have great facilities, just like the 6A schools, and you got to be very, very blessed. You got a great football facility, and you got Indiana SRN, and when they're in their press box, that's got to be rewarding as well.
Absolutely, and it's a nice press box. It's got internet out there, but no, I told our kids last night, when you look at the school and the weight room and the football field, we've got the best facilities that I know of in 1A football. There's other teams that have nice football fields, other teams that have nice weight rooms in 1A, but man, the combination of those three things in 1A football, I think it's the best in the state, and I don't think enough people know about it. The locker room, weight room is only a couple months old. The school and the field are only a couple years old, and it's just. I was walking around there with my wife the other day, and our jaw dropped at how beautiful everything was out there. So that's obviously a huge perk. But the people at Traitors Point are why we're coming. We've been in love with Traitors Point as a church for a long time, and I'm excited to be a part of the school now and get to work.
Okay, talk about, in closing here, let's talk about the first three goals that you would want to do as a coach. You can't win a state championship the first year, or can you? But what are the three main things? And what is the solid foundation that you gather everything about? It's just not football, but what is the one solid thing that you gather to make you who you are?
So for that first question, obviously every goal or every coach's goal is a state championship. And I think when you watch the LCC Traitors Point game from last year in LCC, and Coach Nay, or well-coached team, obviously won a state championship. And you watch that game, Traitors Point's up 10-9 at halftime in their second year of competition. That's a big deal. And to compete with that kind of a team, the difference among many things in that game was at halftime we had 9 kids who hadn't left the field. They had about 50, 60 kids on their roster. So, they're a very good team, very well coached team, but we feel like, we can work towards closing that gap and get to the point where we're competing for state championships every year. But that's not, the goal isn't the result for me. We can't focus on, okay, we want to win a state championship. We want to win a state championship, because everybody wants that, but you have to focus on the day-to-day battles, the day-to-day culture, because leaders create culture. Culture drives behavior, and behavior produces results. So our first goal as coaches, and I talked about this in our meeting last night, is just to build those relationships. Anytime you come in to a new situation, you've got to listen more than you speak, and we need to build those relationships first thing. The second thing I said last night was we need to recruit the halls. We've got kids in the school that are good athletes that aren't playing football, and we need to get them on the roster. And then that third goal for us right now is get in the weight room and start that strength and conditioning. Obviously, that looks different for everybody right now, not being able to use our facilities, but, working with the kids individually. Okay, what do you have access to? How can we get you physically prepared, get you bigger, faster, stronger, but also work on your hip mobility, your flexibility, and your injury prevention. So those are our goals right now. And we think that if we work the process, we can get to that state championship. And then I'm sorry, I forget your other question.
What makes you who you are? What's that one centerpiece that makes you who you are? Because you have been raised with great leadership. What is that one piece that you count on day in and day out in your life?
Oh yeah, that's Jesus and the Holy Spirit. When things are good, we praise Jesus. When things are bad, we praise Jesus. He's the anchor in my storm. He's the light to my path when I don't know what to do. He's where I go to seek wisdom, and I try every day to point my daughter towards him, and I've got a great supporting wife who loves me, loves the Lord, and was raised by parents who love the Lord as well, and just been very blessed with the people in my life who have helped disciple me, helped build me up, and looking to return the favor with the kids that we get to teach and coach at a daily basis.
It's been a pleasure getting to know you. I know that we've talked a couple of times, and we haven't seen each other for a while, but we will.
Yeah.
But we're looking forward to being a part of the Knights program again, not only in football, but also in basketball, a little bit of volleyball as well. Paul Williams has done a great job with that school.
Yes, he has.
I cannot wait to see, you got graduation coming up as well. And I think Indiana SRN is going to do your graduation, which is kind of cool. So maybe we can distant see each other at that point. But you're going to be a great asset. And, that rivalry that you have built into the other schools will carry on. And people will want to play Traitors Point Knights. And we're really proud of what you've accomplished. And you're going to do a great job. I think you're going to be blessed.
Thank you. Yeah, my wife and I are very excited. It's definitely a great opportunity, and we feel like God's got something special for us here.
We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. You're listening to the Sports Zone on Indiana SRN.
It's coming. It's coming. IPSathletics.tv. High school sports on the World Wide Web. Every big game on IPSathletics.tv. Football, volleyball, basketball, and much more. Coming this fall, IPSathletics.tv. Let the games begin.
Hello, this is Deb from Indiana SRN, and I'm here to say thank you to our loyal sponsors, schools, coaches, and friends. Your support continues to keep high school athletics on internet radio and webcast. It is our goal to highlight student athletes throughout our great state. We are scheduled to broadcast over 300 games this season, and you can find us broadcasting at high school football stadiums, basketball and volleyball courts, baseball and softball diamonds, next to the wrestling mats, at lacrosse fields, and the soccer pitch. If you would like to know more about how to get your favorite school on radio or webcast, contact us by email at coach@indianasrn.org. Coach has enjoyed his time with you during the Sports Zone show. Thank you again. And if you're enjoying this show or would like to sponsor any of our broadcasts, you can contact us via email at coach@indianasrn.org. Thank you again for listening and watching Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game. And don't forget to join us Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern for the Sports Zone.
Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
It's coming. It's coming. IPSathletics.tv. High school sports on the World Wide Web. Every big game on IPSathletics.tv. Football, volleyball, basketball, and much more. Coming this fall, IPSathletics.tv. Let the games begin.
Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
It's been said the night is always darkest just before the dawn. Maybe you can relate right now. But make no mistake about it, a new day is dawning. Opportunity and promise are on the horizon for all of us. And just like in high school sports, we'll trust honesty, empathy, hard work, and humility to bring out the best in us and show us the way. The IHSAA will look for you at a high school game or meet very soon.
Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.